Our lives are laid out on a road of bumps, turns, struggles, and more. How do we respond? How do we endure adversity for learning and growth? I'm Aubrey Johnson, and we'll explore these questions and more on the road to rediscovery. Hello and welcome to a special year-ending recap solo episode of The Road to Rediscovery. I'm your host, Aubrey Johnson. The Road to Rediscovery is about reflecting on life lessons to learn and grow from them, and of course, pay it forward and uplift others who are struggling through dark times. I'm proud to announce that The Road to Rediscovery has partnered with a new platform called Featured Up. Here you can engage with me or any of my guests by asking a question or sharing a comment. All questions for me will be read on a future episode, and I will personally contact my past guests for any questions sent for them. I'll also read their question and response on a future episode as well. You'll also have the option of including a voluntary tip, and like I said, I will read your name and question comment on a future show. You can visit www.featuredup.com/rediscover and feel free to ask whatever is on your mind, and we are always grateful for your listenership. I truly hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, or any other holiday that you may celebrate with your loved ones. My goodness, it's already the end of 2023. Now, for me at 55, I have to say, the older I get, the shorter time gets, or at least it feels that way. I mean, I feel like not too long ago, it was just January of this year, and here we are at the end of December. Does it seem the same to you or not? Let us know at roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, I still remember when it was the beginning of the year. I remember buying an old school day planner the first week of this year. Sad to say, I stopped using it after February. I also remember setting small goals for myself in January of this year, promising myself I would make a vision board that represents not only my goals and aspirations for growth, but also simple yet effective practices that I would work on to become good habits, such as cutting down carbs, leaning into problems instead of turning my back on them, and connecting more with my family. Have I accomplished all that's on my board? No. However, I feel I have moved the needle a little bit and believe it still applies. Everything on the board still applies to what I want to achieve going into 2024. And just as this show is about self-reflection, each year I reflect on things that have transpired and try to realize the lessons learned behind them. So here's a quick recap on some of this year's accomplishments. Some of these are professionally, some are personally, but here's a quick recap. Earlier this year, bought a new dishwasher and actually installed it, and I'm not a handyman DIY type of guy. I will try if something doesn't seem too complicated, but I was actually able to install this dishwasher, so I was pretty proud of myself. In installing that dishwasher, that led me to address the leaking sink that was causing water to collect inside the cabinet beneath it. This is the kitchen sink. So I took care of that as well. And like I said, I'm not that much of a DIY guy, especially in the plumbing department, but it inspired me to at least explore ways towards a solution because it's been nagging me all this time, and now it's behind me. In late March, we cleaned out our barn. Now, this barn is a 24 by 20 foot space, and it's a pretty considerable size of a barn. After moving to North Texas 8 years ago from a house that had a basement, which we don't have a basement here, there were so many things in this barn you can barely walk in 4 feet after opening the door. This cleanout consisted of sacrificing a weekend of nothing else and a massive pile of garbage that blocked our driveway and paying $150 to a special dumping company for picking up. Our local sanitation wouldn't even pick it up. If I can find the pictures I took from this, because trust me, I took pictures of before and after in that barn and took pictures of that pile of trash and garbage in the driveway, I will share this on my R2R Podcast Facebook group and the Facebook page. So be on the lookout for that if I can find these pictures. And again, make no mistake, this was truly a big deal. We waited 8 years to clean out this barn of all this trash that moved with us. And now it's gone. The first week of March brought a major wind and lightning storm that resulted in the need of roof replacement in over 40% of the homes in my neighborhood. This started the entire process from filing the claim with my insurance company to getting estimates and a lot more of the details, right? All wrapping up the roof replacement, closing the claim, finishing the last payment, and all in early August. In April, this podcast hit a major milestone of 200 released episodes, a bicentennial. Very exciting to reach that milestone. And in May, The Road to Rediscovery was ranked among the top 60 Dallas-based podcasts. Check it in at number 8. It's still in that top 60 to this day. In June, the show received the Communicators Center of Excellence Award by the Academy of Interactive and Visual Arts, a distinction that I was incredibly proud and honored to receive, which tells me the show is moving in the right direction and impacting the right people and sending the right message. I was quite fortunate to be offered an opportunity to co-author an anthology, along with 19 other authors. So in July, the book Relentless, Empowering Stories of Overcoming Adversity was released and quickly became an Amazon #1 international bestseller. I am honored and privileged to be a part of the heart and blood and sweat and tears that went into that book. I'm chapter 4, and all the other chapters are just as powerful and impactful. I'll leave a link in the episode show notes where you can get a copy of this book. And in late July, I made the long drive to my hometown up north to help celebrate my dear grandson's first birthday. Talk about being a proud grandpa. That was a lot of fun, and I look forward to his second birthday in the coming year. So in some of these accomplishments that I just listed from 2023, what have I learned from one or more of these events? Well, one thing I have learned, and I continue to learn, is the essence of sustaining the goals, aspirations, and virtues as I've listed on my vision board. For me, writing things down and posting them on my board, it makes it real. It makes it tangible. It's something I can physically see in front of my face every day, holding myself accountable and leading me to assess my progress, if there's any progress. I've also discovered the lessons of prioritization and intentionality. Let me be clear, when I say I've discovered these as lessons, I have not yet achieved, overcome, or quote, figured out prioritization and intentionality, but I have discovered that they are lessons. I at least acknowledge that. Oftentimes in my mind, I view prioritization and intentionality as two sides of the same coin. Here's an example. One absolute major discovery I've made is to prioritize my sleep. I discovered I need to do it. From going to bed earlier, to getting no less than 7 hours of sleep, to waking up earlier. Simply put, I need to prioritize my sleep. On the other side of the coin, I need to be intentional in making the efforts to get more sleep. People think this change can be easily made. And I have to tell you, I wish I had the same belief for myself. And maybe I'm overcomplicating this, but for me to achieve getting more sleep and waking up early, I'll need to take some serious inventory in what I currently do and ask myself, is this really important? Or even ask myself, can I live without doing this? Ultimately, when taking inventory of each of the tasks I perform very late at night, I'll have to do one of three things. 1, give the task to someone else to perform. 2, move the task to an earlier time of day. Or 3, eliminate the task altogether. That's part of this inventory I need to take. Hence, I've discovered and acknowledged this, but as I've said earlier, I have not yet achieved or overcome. There are several other lessons, but I wish this to be a major focus throughout 2024 and wish to have you on this journey with me throughout next year. I will keep you posted on my progress. And that's the operative word, right? Progress. I hope and pray that I make progress in this. So what about you? Are you a, quote, reformed night owl who's cracked the code to getting more sleep and waking up earlier? If so, I'd absolutely, and I'm serious when I say this, I would love to hear how you did this. Again, send me an email at roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com and clue me in. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for listening. And as always, you can count on more extraordinary guests lined up for you with amazing stories of overcoming major challenges and incredible insights that may help you on your journeys. I want to thank you for your ears. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your feedback. I want to thank you for your thoughtfulness and your passion. I want to thank you for your trust in me in delivering content to you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this show. I'm so grateful, incredibly grateful, to have had you on the road with me this year, and hope you stick around for more exciting things next year. Thanks again for listening. And for you, I send blessings of joy, and pray for a wonderful, happy, healthy, and prosperous 2024. I love you all. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of The Road to Rediscovery. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com and leave us any questions or comments you may have. The Road to Rediscovery is an AJ Shark production.